since I made this schnitzel. No one in my family has been making schnitzel anymore. This veal schnitzel is like nothing you've ever tasted before. It's super thin, super juicy, super flavorful, and so easy to make. Let me show you how. Hi there, I'm here. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are making the best schnitzel ever. And it all started when my husband told me that he went to a restaurant with his co-workers, and they served them this veal schnitzel. He said it was just amazing, super thin, super juicy, and flavorful. So of course, he asked them for the recipe, but they didn't know. That's why I am here today to help you guys out. So let's get into the recipe. 2. The first thing you need is veal cutlets. You can use chicken or pork, but today we're doing veal. Veal is very lean, so it can be quite dry. But don't worry, because I have a trick for you to make sure that this schnitzel will be wall-to-wall medium rare. I promise you that. Now, if you're not a fan of seeing blood in your meat, then this might not be for you. 2 pound or not 2 pound? That is the question. Do you need to pound your meat? In my opinion, yes, you do. But you definitely don't need a meat mallet. We're going to try something different today. I'm going to show you 2 ways of pounding your meat. You can choose whichever you prefer. First method, a cheap and easy way, is to put the meat between 2 sheets of plastic wrap and use your rolling pin. Now, for my second method, which I'm going to show you, is going to require a little bit more time, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. Now, for this recipe, we're going to be needing some twine. You can get this at the grocery store. Make sure you get the kind that you can cook with. And I got a cute little kitchen shears so I can cut the twine after cooking. And to start off, what you want to do is tie a double knot at the end of your twine. What we're going to do is take our meat and wet our hands. Then you're going to take the meat, fold it over itself, and then put the twine right above the top part of the meat. Hold it in place with your hand, and then start wrapping the string around the meat. Make sure you're tight, but not too tight. Leave a little space at the end, and then tie another double knot to make sure that it stays in place. Now, depending on the size of your meat, you might need 2 pieces of twine. The reason why we're doing this is because when we pound the meat, we're going to be creating a pocket for our marinade to go in. By tying the string, it helps keep the shape of the meat so that it doesn't burst open when we pound it. Does that make sense? For the marinade, you're going to need lemon juice, soy sauce, garlic, and ginger. We're going to pour all that in a bowl, mix it up, and then dip each piece of meat inside. Be sure to coat the meat well. And since we're going to be using our stovetop, I like to cover the meat with plastic wrap. Let it rest at room temperature for 30 minutes. While the meat is resting, let's prepare our dredging station. For this, we're going to need 3 separate bowls. In the first bowl, we're going to mix up our flour, seasoned with salt and pepper. In the second bowl, we're going to mix up our eggs, and then in the third bowl, we're going to mix up our breadcrumbs. I'm using panko breadcrumbs, which is my favorite, but you can use whatever you like. Now we're going to remove the meat from the bowl and shake off any excess marinade. Then we're going to dip it in the flour mixture and really coat it well. Next, we're going to dip it in the egg and let it drip. Now we're going to toss it in the breadcrumbs, and again, make sure it's well coated. See any dry spots? Just add a little bit more of the egg or the marinade, and then continue coating the meat until it looks like this. Beautiful! Right now, set these aside and repeat the process for the other cutlets. To cook our schnitzel, we're going to be using a Dutch oven, which is my favorite to cook with. You can also use a heavy bottom pot with a lid. Add oil and butter. Then place the cutlets in the hot oil. Now, depending on your stove and your pot, you might need to work in batches. And for each side, you're only going to cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes. We don't want to overcook the meat. We just want to seal the edges and make sure they're nice and brown. Once done, transfer the meat onto a plate and tent it with foil to keep it warm. Repeat the process with the remaining cutlets. Now, we're going to add a little bit more butter, and once it's melted, we're going to add the deglazing liquid, which is going to be chicken broth. Using a wooden spoon, scrape up all the brown bits from the bottom of the pan. These brown bits contain lots of flavor, so we don't want to waste them. Continue boiling the liquid over high heat until it reduces by half. Once it's reduced, Add the cream, followed by the lemon zest and juice. Taste for seasoning and adjust accordingly. Once the sauce is thickening, we're going to turn off the heat and add the parsley. Now it's time to plate the meal. Place the schnitzel on the plate and pour the sauce on top. Now you can serve immediately. But remember, veal is a very lean protein, so to ensure that it stays wall-to-wall medium rare, we're going to let it rest for 10 minutes before cutting. I know it's hard to wait, but trust me, it'll be worth it. While the schnitzel is resting, let's prepare the Spätzle. For this, you're going to need egg noodles. Cook according to package instructions. While the noodles are cooking, add butter to a small skillet over low heat. Once the butter has melted, add the flour and whisk it constantly. Now, slowly whisk in the milk until the sauce is thickening. Once the noodles are cooked, drain them and then add them to the sauce. Toss to coat and season with salt and pepper. Now it's time to cut the schnitzel. Use a sharp knife and cut each piece against the grain. Remember, veal is a very lean protein, so it can easily dry out. To prevent that, we're going to top the schnitzel with the sauce. This ensures that each bite is wall-to-wall medium rare and super juicy. Serve immediately and enjoy. If you're looking for more schnitzel recipes, check out my other videos. Now I want to hear from you. Which schnitzel recipe is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. Next, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself because you're worth it.